Good morning.
Morning,
Hello.
morning.
Good afternoon.
Morning.
Good night. Whatever you're watching it.
You know, last week we talked about Karl Marx, communism, socialism,
Yes.
fascism, and totalitarian, all the isms.
Yes.
And I'm truly impressed that today you must have read up on Karl Marx and some other communist sympathizing type movements because you're dressed up as a Bolshevik ready to go on
Or
a rampage.
revolutionary?
Have you joined Antifa?
No, they won't. I think I'm too old.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know if you're too
there's an
old,
age
but
group.
they don't like
Yeah.
independence. You are an independent, and being independent means you can go both ways.
Yeah. Well, and I was given this jacket.
It was cold.
And it's colder today, so I put it on, and then I put my hat on, and I walked by a mirror, and I recognized myself from all the communist things I was watching over the weekend.
Well,
They like the green.
they do.
I guess it blends
They do.
in the.
Workers United.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. That was yeah. I don't even know where to begin. I tried to begin in the beginning, I guess. Casey said, "What are you reading?" And because I had Wikipedia open. Now I have heard that Wikipedia can be changed by whoever wants to change it. So it's different than the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Now that you've said something about Wikipedia and looking up Karl Marx and communism, I think I'll go on there after our show and maybe add some of my own points.
Yeah.
Add some things about Karl Marx that maybe aren't on the Wikipedia right now.
That's true. We'll continue the process of making stuff up
Which is the essence of our program.
Yeah.
And but stop the presses.
It's here.
Stop the presses. Do we have any presses?
That's what's running in the back.
Oh, I thought that was a laser printer.
Yeah.
Well, stop the laser printer. Stop the laser printer. I've got some. This is. I'm putting on the spectacles.
Oh no.
It's a spectacle moment.
Well,
Listen to this. You are into communism right now.
no, I'm just learning about it. I'm not into it. I'm learning, and it's just good to read up on everything. I think but I tell you what, there's I'm so early into it that I don't really know enough to talk about it.
Well, we'll save that for a later program. Then.
Yeah,
because I'm
still learning. But I did find out there's some things about Karl Marx that he was a lifelong student. He was born in a Jewish family, but his dad couldn't practice law, so he actually converted and went to a Lutheran church, and then but he grew up in a upper middle class family, and so he was actually able to go to school all of his life and never have a job and have somebody else pay for it. And in hindsight, that might sound like a bad deal.
Well, actually, in my day at LSU, and even I'm sure to this very moment, there are professional students. They don't like to leave the university.
The only reason he wasn't a professor was because the only reason he wasn't a professor there was because his views were too radical for the universities. So.
He was a communist.
Yeah, but now I think you could get a job at LSU.
Well, he could get a job at any university.
LSU, I don't know.
Except maybe, what is that?
Because there's Hillsdale.
Hillsdale. He could not get a job at Hillsdale.
Yeah.
Maybe in janitorial.
Ooh.
Maybe janitorial.
But then he would be a worker and he would unite.
But he would unite the other workers. So he turned Hillsdale into something we wouldn't want.
But there was work. I don't know. And so, which brought me to a place, and I'll be better prepared, and I'll have the link. But or I might I can put the link on. I can put links on this YouTube channel.
Oh, technology is a dangerous thing.
It's like the hurricane.
Yeah. Well, your mind. I think you have some splinters in the windmill of your mind.
Yeah, we're gonna I was listening to a debate from Reason Magazine, and it was, I think it's a relatively recent debate between two people, and it was socialism and capitalism.
Oh, really?
It was pretty interesting, and yeah. So
there, as we
I haven't finished watching it, so I might not put the link.
Well,
maybe I should.
As we continue to mature as a show,
yeah,
we will be able to link so that folks can go from whatever we're talking about, which is very timely, and look at it themselves.
I should have been doing that. You know what? I should have had a link to Lowriders, and I'll put that link in this one too. And big trucks.
When did we start talking about? Oh, you're talking about lowrider. I thought you were talking about motorcycles. Now you're talking. We shifted immediately to trucks.
I had a motorcycle. I had a couple motorcycles. We can talk about those.
Well, I can tell you about my motorcycle training days.
Training?
Well, I had to learn how to ride a motorcycle.
For what?
So that if I ever bought a motorcycle and I got on the road, I would know what I was doing.
Oh.
And through training, I discovered quite quickly that I didn't need to buy a motorcycle.
Oh.
You know, I went right through a fence. You know how in the cartoons you run through something and it leaves the image of the person?
It was the shape of
it. I ran right through this wooden fence on the very first day and knocked down the rest of the fence, but there was I went right through it. Holly was taking classes with me because I wanted my college. She was in college at the time, and I said, she needs to learn this kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So she was on the other side of the field watching her dad go through this wooden fence. And she says she was embarrassed. Personally, I was proud I left the image.
Yeah.
It's a permanent marker of my training.
Huh.
And there's some other things happened on that field that I can talk about.
So did you want to ride? Did you want a motorcycle?
I always wanted a motorcycle.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, my older brother and I, Preston and I, we were told vociferously by our mother that there were two things that we had to follow rules in order to eat at her house. Mm-hmm. And that was, one, we couldn't grow facial hair. That was verboten. And we couldn't ride motorcycles.
Okay, is vociferously like viciously, and is verboten like forbidden? Just checking.
Well,
in case somebody else is slower out there too. Because
I'm sorry,
I'm listening to this story.
Vociferously
throwing me off with these words.
Very strong, not viciously, just very strongly communicated.
Okay.
And verboten is forbidden.
I got you. I'm sorry.
But I appreciate you wanting to clear that up for the audience.
Just
because I'm sure they didn't see your eyes rolling.
If I was watching this, I'd have been like, God, what do you say? So you couldn't grow facial hair and you couldn't have a motorcycle.
Right. Now the joke on my mother was that genetically, through the family genomes, millions of years of evolving, we were incapable of growing facial hair at that age. It wasn't until we got much older
and driving motorcycles
and drive motorcycles. So I had to wait till my mother had passed away, and then I said, we're going to take some motorcycle lessons, Holly.
Oh man!
Wow! So that's how I learned. That's how I learned.
I wonder if that was her steering you towards that fence.
If you think I'm lying, you can talk to my daughter, and she will confirm that I.
That's a good one.
Right through the fence, and the next day, they wanted us to brake quickly, and I learned that you don't
use your front brake.
You don't use the front brake. You don't use the front brake. I discovered how quickly you go over the handlebars, and I did a great somersault over the handlebars, right in front of the instructors. So they were able to grade me on my gymnastic move across. I kind of bled a little bit after that one.
You probably gave everyone else in the class a lot of things to learn from.
People said that they had not seen anything quite like that before, and the instructors said that.
Breaking records.
It was. I was breaking a lot of things.
Fences and breaking records.
I broke a lot of things.
Breaking bones.
I told us to stop the presses a little while ago.
Oh yeah.
I have something I want to tell you. I'm shocked.
Okay.
I'm bowled over, and it takes a lot to bowl me over. Not really.
The front brake on a motorcycle.
Well, okay, let's don't get smart.
Let's not stay.
I think I'm sorry. I told you that story. Oh, wait, I told him.
No, okay. All right.
We're
not gonna bring it up.
You know, last week I was talking about that Senate Homeland Security report.
Yep.
On the Bidens and their foreign deals.
Yep.
Well, the things that I spoke about last week of the 84-page long report, single-spaced, was just in the initial coverage of the report. In the past week, I went back and I read the report, and when you get to page 65 through 85, man, they get into details about Hunter Biden and Joe's involvement in regards to the Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, China.
Ukrainian? Ukraine.
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian?
Well, I was talking about Ukraine. I was kind of pluralizing it.
Oh, that's a pluralization of Ukraine.
Ukrainians. Ukrainian. It also deals with the atomic weight of. I was just wanting to joke with you. So anyway, but the main thing, for example, in this Ukraine deal, he was receiving $83,333 a month.
What?
$83,333 a month. 83,333.
What kind of profession can you make that kind of money in?
I don't know, but I want to do that one.
Yeah.
But guess what?
But because to do a job like that, to receive that level of money, and to party as hard as he was partying, I don't see how you balance out. Because I knew some guys that could party. They could party right up there with him. Maybe even beat him a couple times. But they weren't making
that money
a month. They weren't making $83 a week.
well,
maybe close sometimes, but you got too much time. You got the party bus doesn't get you back to the work bus on time. So.
Having never experienced that party aspect, at $83,000, can you buy a higher grade of drug so that you use the same amount, but it's like so quality, it's unbelievable.
I don't know. I guess that I'm not a.
Well, for our street viewers, they need to let us know.
I'm not a pharmacist or a practicing.
You don't play one on TV?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I used to. Now that. So, no, but I don't think that. I don't know. I mean, I guess like money gets you access. So money gets you access to things that. So they say money can't buy happiness, but it can definitely buy a good time.
Well, money may also protect you from the access that you've received.
And give you, the whole thing stinks to, if you got,
let me tell you what stinkers more.
Roll it on.
The $83,000 a month that he was earning, he received it, but 6 days after Donald Trump was elected, the payments ceased.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, could be. Yeah, it just could be. Things happen. Things happen. Yeah, like they could have been going through a restructuring process. They could have been.
It's moments like this that I'm sorry I ever bring something up.
No, I'm just saying that
you're trying to think of the positives of what could happen when he lost the money.
I'm giving you plausible deniability.
Well, there you go. There you go. The one place that I know has been used successfully was in the movie Independence Day, and they're in the airplane and they
with the aliens.
Oh yeah. And the guy's talking about and they say, well, the president's saying, why don't I know about Area 51? And the defense secretary says plausible deniability. Huh. So that's the only place I know it's been done legitimately.
If that's where, Joe Biden's brother supposedly said that too. So,
that was
that was actually done in real life.
Yes, it was. And what I read in pages 65 through 85 is that it was not only Hunter, but it was his Joe Biden's brother and Joe Biden's brother's wife. And that the mayor's wife in Moscow that gave $3.5 million to Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, she ended up with I said, why did she have $3.5 million?
Yeah.
She was the wife of the mayor of Moscow.
Yeah.
She had a plastics company of some sort.
Okay.
And she received
really well.
all sorts of contracts from Moscow for building jobs.
Yeah.
And they wanted to help Hunter with his financial background.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I mean, and then China, all the dealings that he's had with China, dealing with communist members of the Communist Party, and the people. Are you cold?
No, I want to get some of that money.
Oh,
if I was dressed up like a communist, maybe I would. I don't know what a communist looked like. The one I watched on TV today.
Put that jacket on. You'll look.
Like he had a suit on. He had glasses. He looked.
That's strictly public relations.
Respectable.
That is public relations.
He looks more respectable.
As soon as he's out of the camera, he puts that kind of jacket back on.
He does.
It's known fact.
No, but so a lot of these things seem like they could be. The mayor's wife has a plastic company. They sell plastics. That a lot of people use plastic products.
That's very true.
And so like she could have had the best bid on those jobs, and they just like, oh well, she just happens to be the mayor.
You are the sweetest guy on earth. Yeah. Just to think the positives on everybody.
Well, I think you need to do that. Unless it's the three strikes rule. It's like it should probably just be 2 strikes and you're out.
Well, if you saw those photographs of Hunter Biden on those are some big strikes.
Yeah, I hadn't, because that's one thing that I know. Like, I've heard there's a lot of really compromising positions, and that guy's been in, and I don't want to. I don't know. I mean, it's not that I'm just trying to look at the
positive.
Well,
that gets back to your pole dancing last week.
Yeah, because I mean, there's things in life that everybody's not proud of, but there's things.
Some of us, maybe this show.
Yeah. I mean, it's still early.
So anyway, folks need to go read the Senate Homeland Security report on Hunter Biden and the Bidens, and particularly read pages 65 through 85 and get a detailed look as to what those transactions were. So it was interesting.
Well, and I think there's an ongoing investigation on it. So
I hope so.
But you never know.
If
you never know if what happened to the Fast and the Furious. Whatever happened with that? I don't know if anybody even knows what that is.
Well, that's the gun running.
Yeah.
Which I didn't receive any of the rifles or anything. I was disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't get anything.
Not that I even have a weapon.
Or whatever happened to I was with this whole deep dive into Marx and communism and everything. The thing that we have with freedom of the press is super important, and in places like that, whether they're authoritarian, and there's so many ways different isms you can put on something. It was really hard for me to understand what's the difference between Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia. They were both authoritarian, but one you've got nationalism, is that right? Mm-hmm. Or a state-run, but then you've got the socialism, which had the Marxism qualities. I guess that was the rise of socialism. And so
Marxism light
in both of those, yeah. And so right now, I guess in our current capitalist system, with the New Deal and everything that we got out of the Social Security, we've got some hints of Marxism, right?
We do have little hints of socialism in what we have.
Yeah. So, and not that that's all, and that's where it gets to be it's a slippery slope. But my point, going back to the free press, is that you couldn't have free press in any of Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia. They would be dead. And here,
we're on the verge of that, though.
Glenn Greenwald. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know.
I'd say go look him up.
Recently, Greenwald.
Glenn Greenwald, very liberal journalist, and he created the Interceptor, I think was the name of his organization, with 2 other two other journalists. But anyway, he just stepped down because he wrote an article or an op-ed that was had critical things about Biden in there.
Really?
And they told him that they wouldn't publish it, and so he left and quit. Now,
wow.
What I find is it seems that people are happy about that whenever it's their side, right?
Well, that's true.
So whenever there was a James Risen, I think, is another journalist who was actually not indicted, but he was. Eric Holder went after him during the Obama administration because he wrote an article. George Bush, I think, also did, because he wrote a book that had a CIA plan of the disruption of the nuclear, Iran's nuclear building. You know,
Yeah.
So it was like government secrets, but so they were forcing him to give his where he got his sources out, and he was like, "I've never given my sources out." And then there was a guy from the CIA who was fired, and I don't know if he was indicted. You can look all this stuff up. I'm trying to do it by memory, and I'm having a horrible time at it. But
well, you're doing great.
So,
you read all this in the past week?
I didn't do a whole lot this weekend. Well, actually, we
I'm
did a lot
impressed.
because we had Halloween, and my oldest, his birthday is on Halloween.
We hardly had any kids out.
Halloween was a lot less, I think. So what we did, we went to a friend's house, me and my buddy that play music together, and we set up and we had a concert.
Oh wow!
For not many people.
That
was the funny thing.
I personally went around to different houses throughout the neighborhood.
Did you trick or treat?
I didn't trick or treat. I asked for cash, and no one offered cash.
I'm picturing that. Some very concerned
I dressed up as Spider-Man, and it was just terrible.
I was looking up at him. I think that's Kent.
I tried to camouflage my voice.
Like, Kent, what are you doing? Do you have any cash?
I just wanted cash. I didn't want any candy or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
the free press thing was one of the parts of the thing that I was looking at and thinking about, and just how it is really important that you have. I don't know. It's hard to say that you have an opposition to anything, but you should be able to question everything.
Yeah, well, everything should be open.
It should be open.
Sunlight. They always use the connection that sunlight clears everything.
It's the absence of darkness.
Well, for example, when back in the old days, when you turned the light on and the roaches were scattered.
Oh yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
So you put the light on them, and the roaches, like maybe the Bidens.
What do the roaches do in the daylight?
I think they sleep in the dark somewhere. They find dark.
Huh. Maybe.
But, and you know another thing, a couple of weeks ago I was talking about, I had to write this down just so I could read it to you and to everybody else, because this was stupid.
Okay.
It's the Green New Deal.
Oh.
The Green New Deal. Now,
well, so the New Deal, what I heard, what I heard this weekend was amazing. We got Social Security out of it, and all kinds of bridges and dams and roads and jobs.
Well, man, you did read about the Green New Deal.
No, was it the Green New Deal? Oh no, it was
well, no, they're talking about the New Deal back in the 30s.
Yes.
Well, in the Green New Deal, they highlight all the wonderful things that occurred in the 30s because of the New Deal.
You know, socialism has changed a lot. They've learned from their mistakes.
And they're very sly.
But they're not. Oh, you know what? And Marxism. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
He was. I think they had something about that. How he was an atheist.
Oh yes, so I'm sure he was.
He had a really hard problem with the Marxism idea. It lacks the ethical code to distribute this equal outcome. Look that up, because that's like a.
I'm impressed.
Equal outcome.
Oh,
is
you've actually exploded brain on me just now. I'm shocked.
Okay. This doesn't happen often.
Oh.
So I'm going to put an asterisk by this episode.
Listen you know, you're on high performance. I'm very impressed. The folks out there are going to say, "Was that Russ?"
I had coffee. I had a couple of cups.
Ooh, I had a bowl of Wheaties.
Oh man, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner was on Wheaties.
What? Well, I have eaten Wheaties since I was a baby.
So you saw it when Caitlyn was bruised.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Sorry. I'm sorry. The Green New Deal.
The Green New Deal. And I quote some things. I copy them out of the Green New Deal so folks will know. 100% renewable energy in 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, this is quotes. Totally overhaul. And this is, I thought, how stupid can you be? Totally overhaul transportation by massively expanding electric vehicle manufacturing, build charging stations everywhere, build out high-speed rail at a scale where air travel stops becoming necessary, with a goal to replace every combustion engine.
So we're going to stop flying?
Well, they want to stop airplanes.
But you know who will still fly? The bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You are becoming a new man. I'm going to have to watch you. You may become a communist and I don't know it.
Well, if I get a plane, put a comment, and I can get on board.
Well, now the thing about
everything's for sale.
If they get rid of the planes, I want to know how are we going to get to Hawaii, or how are we going to get back over to Europe?
It's an electric boat. Do they have electric boats?
Yeah, but I don't think they go 3,000 miles.
Seems dangerous.
Now they might have the wind-up boats.
Solar powered.
So I don't.
Solar powered.
I don't think that would work.
If you get caught in a lightning storm in a solar powered electric boat.
Oh, you got power out the wazoo. You could probably go places.
I saw a YouTube video. Well, a little video. This boat that got struck by lightning. Oh, can't even imagine.
Anyway, you want to get rid of the planes?
I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
I'm sorry.
And if this doesn't sound so communistic, promote justice and equity by stopping current, preventing future, and repairing historic oppression of frontline and vulnerable communities. How do you like that? And then quote some more.
There's more
because people need to know this. You need to hear about this.
We need to go back to that one. That was a big one.
And it goes with what you've been on. Yeah. I'll read it again for you later. Upgrade or replace every building in the United States.
Yeah, that's just not.
This is another. This one is. They want to get rid of cows. Work with farmers and ranchers to create a system.
What are you going to do with all the cows?
Well, they'll be dead because they don't want the cows' flatulence.
That's not true.
No, it is. The cows produce
supposedly
gas.
According to South Park, that is how the aliens communicate with us, is through the cows.
Through the cow gas?
Just through the cows.
Well, the Green New Deal is so upset about the fact that we have so many cows that cows fart. And the cow farting all over the world has destroyed our environment.
So, are they going to are they going to kill all the cows? Well, don't they worship cows in India?
Well, that's in India, so there'll probably be
are they going to kill all their cow guys?
That'd be a war. But in the United States, they really only want to kill the cows in the United States.
Yeah, because the Green New Deal isn't like a mandate or making everybody else in the world do anything.
Well, they say they do, but it's really they just want to do something to the United States.
Are they trying to lead by example? And then maybe the rest of the world.
In their mind, I think
they're so noble.
We ought to do what
they're doing,
and that never works.
Look how prosperous they are now that everybody's
$100 trillion in debt, and what? But you and I get new homes out of the deal.
Oh,
because they'd have to tear down our old home and rebuild the home so that we would have something that is sustainable.
The people that do the tearing down and building up, that's new jobs.
Ranchers work with farmers and ranchers to create a sustainable, pollution and greenhouse gas-free food system that ensures universal access to healthy food. And all new jobs will be union jobs.
Do cows fart more than people?
Yes, well, they're much bigger.
Yeah,
they're much bigger now. Not that I hang around cows.
But there's how many cows are in this? I mean, how many?
Bazillions.
What's the global cow population?
I'm sure it's got to be bazillions because we eat them. And the other thing about getting rid of cows, I want to continue eating my fillets. I like fillets.
Love steak.
I like fillets.
I'm a red meat. Yeah.
So
fillets, sometimes it's a little too much. Ribeyes, that's where I'm at.
I
like the ribeye.
I like a ribeye. I like fillets.
We went to dinner at a place, and they had a bone-in ribeye. Oh man, I'm hungry again.
I like to get the bone out.
I like the bone out too. The bone in's more for show, but the flavor was good. They did a good job.
See, with the bone, I always have to carve around it, and
you pick it up.
We're making the Green New Deal people sick because we're talking about eating beef.
Well, I was just gonna say I eat it with my hands. I wasn't asked to leave, but everybody looked at me a little funny.
You know, this whole conversation has made me realize that maybe you're more Bolshevik than we know.
I don't.
Is it maybe you have leanings?
What's the Bolshevik? That's
a Russian.
Oh,
the Soviets.
No. Oh, those were the ones that went in and murdered the Tsar and the Tsarina's family. Yeah. No, I'm not like that.
Those were bad people.
I'm not.
Lenin and his group were bad people.
Yeah, well, so
Mao Zedong and his group are very bad people.
Yeah.
And Biden wanting to cozy up to China again is beyond belief. And another thing Biden talked about that
because China is building now. I don't know if this is current, how current this is. So Marx was born in starts with a T. It's in a part of Germany, and so anyway, China liked Marx. Obviously, they used a lot of their stuff, and so there was a Chinese guy, artist, who was making a sculpture for the place where Marx grew up, and it was like this 550 meters. Is that right? It's pretty tall.
That'd be 1,500 feet or so.
So it wasn't maybe 55 meters?
Maybe. No, I'd say maybe 5 meters would be...
5.5 meters. That's what it was.
Okay.
Because his birthday is on April 5th.
All right.
I didn't know that, but I learned that too. But not that it's important, but... So Marxism has a big hold in China. The NBA is very fond of China. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
That's true. They like to bring their business in.
Yeah, and so there were a couple of NBA players that had gone over to China, and they just came back, and they were in awe by the working conditions that you end up with under a... In awe
or scared?
Both, I guess. I think
they should be scared.
Yeah, but still, like, there's a lot of so you have one of the ironic. This is I always have trouble. Maybe you can help me with this. Knowing the correct way to use irony. So the NBA players make millions of dollars. Yeah. They have contracts with Nike, sell all these shoes, and so we buy all the shoes, and then the shoes are made by child labor in communist China.
Yeah,
is that ironic?
That is ironic. It's sad too.
It's horribly sad, but I always put that with the. It's like a no smoking sign on your cigarette break. What's that song? Isn't that ironic?
I'm not familiar with the song.
I'll put the link. Alanis Morissette. That's a shout out.
Please put the link so I can go to it and listen to it.
You're gonna love it.
I'm a little more hip than Joe Biden when he tells people to go listen to your record player.
Okay, now he's had some of the funniest gaffes.
Oh, have you heard his words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just. I'm pretty bad. Maybe I should run for president.
You're not bad. I did. Someone sent me a little vignette of they superimposed Joe Biden's face on Mary Poppins, the chimney sweep, played by Dick Van Dyke.
Chimney.
And they are doing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but they did it with a Joe Biden type of, and it was, and it is the funniest little sing-along of supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but it with a Biden twist. Did you read about SEAL Team 6 this weekend?
No. This is the ones that went to
Nigeria?
No.
I didn't even know this had occurred. Apparently sometime last week, this American, he's 27 years old, and he was a farmer in Niger, which is right next to Nigeria.
Okay.
And apparently he farmed and he raised sheep, and what a 27-year-old American and his family are doing living in Niger in an area that is known to be unfriendly to folks like us, capitalistic bent. He gets kidnapped by 6 or 7 men that drive up to his farm on motorcycles, take him, and they drive away. And we're going to either ask for a ransom, or they were going to sell him to some other terrorist nation to be used as a pawn of some sort.
Yeah.
And President Trump said that's not going to happen. And so he set up the approval for SEAL Team 6 to get in there, and they
extracted him.
They extracted in the dark of night.
I love that.
No, it's good. It's good.
That's awesome.
In the dark of night, these guys parachuted from an Air Force transport plane.
Yeah.
And they landed about 2 miles from where this group was camped out. And they got to, it was 2 clicks, what they said, 2 clicks. And they secretly marched those 2 clicks to the camp where they were keeping this young man. And a small gunfight erupted. And 6 of the 7 captors, the people that did the abduction, were killed in the fight. 1 person was not killed, and no Americans, no SEAL Team 6 members were harmed. And then they extracted the young man out of that area and got him out.
We've got the best. I mean, the ability, and it's not that we should ever use it in a bad way to go in and take over some. I don't like nation building and stuff. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. So
it's never worked out great for us.
No. So okay, I've got another irony for you.
Oh.
So I had someone tell me a story one time, speaking of kidnapping, that it was a family that lived in an area that was, let's say they were an affluent family, and these people had come in and kidnapped one of the children that were coming home from school. It was like a middle school, high school. They took them out to the jungle, and then they'd start calling in. And then basically what would happen from that point, it's like almost like buying a car. They call and they say, I need $1 million. And you say, I don't have $1 million. I've got, 500,000. And they're like, they hang up. And so they call back and they're like, well, give me, 700. I was like, I don't have 700. I'll give you 6. So like, there's this negotiation. It's a captive of negotiation. And that group that took the person usually keeps the person safe, and they're trying to get money. They're trying to extract the money. So they're being, they're doing it like a car. So they're using a capitalist type of.
It's a capitalist bent on an abduction.
An abduction, yeah. So is that irony?
Negotiating
yeah. It's like a business with people that are against business. So it's like good advice that you just didn't take. Alanis Morissette.
Would you click something down there so I'll know what we're really talking about when I watch this? It's ironic that we're having to put a lot of clicks in here.
I know. This is gonna take a little longer to get online.
We probably ought to end while we're way behind now.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That was a good one.
I think we had a great day. I hope that y'all enjoy it.
Yeah. We learned some stuff. I learned a lot.
This man is.
I learned a lot.
It's.
Yeah. I'm a late bloomer. Is that what that is?
It's
no. Just doing the bloom.
You've bloomed. You're just adding to the bloomation.
Well, I didn't finish college. I'm not educated.
No, but you have a very successful business.
And
soon we're going to, actually, we have a product that's going to be sponsoring us.
Maybe. If we can convince them. We have to negotiate.
So far, we're negotiating with them. They apparently are very strong capitalists, and
the money's not quite right.
Yeah, they want us to pay them, and we're kind of working on that deal because we've always thought it was supposed to be the other way around.
Is that ironic?
That part is irony.
Okay.
It's really kind of sad, but I think one day maybe if I get my MasterCard limit raised, we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I might go back to school. I'm going to start a GoFundMe page.
There's no time for that. You're learning everything now.
That's true. You know what? We'll get to that.
You don't need that.
When Al Gore finally created the internet.
Oh yeah! Thank goodness he did that.
I mean, that guy.
He was so smart. And you know the movie Love Story or the book Love Story was written about him and Tipper.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, he said that was he and Tipper.
Is that like The Notebook?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but they in the younger version, and but it's really sad because Tipper and Al Gore ultimately divorced.
Is that ironic?
But that's sad.
Yes, that's not good.
So much for Love Story.
Well, love stories are. We'll do a show on love stories.
You know what amazes me is how quickly the time goes by when we're actually talking about everything.
We got so much more.
Our brains really are.
We have so much more to give.
When they were doing my second brain surgery, they told me they'd never seen anything like that before.
Your brain?
Yeah. I said, I'm just glad you found it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I've never seen a brain.
And you know, when I said, I'm glad you found it, they really didn't respond. They
didn't know what to say.
They didn't know what to say.
They looked at each other like, wait, did we put that part back in?
We probably ought to let this go.
They have cut the wrong thing out.
I think we amputated something that we shouldn't have. And I said, well, just go with the flow. Yeah. Just go with the flow. I hope y'all have a beautiful week.
Yeah. Oh, get out and vote.
Oh, yeah, vote. Vote often. Vote often.
Vote as many times as they will.
As many times as you can get in there. And
that's not, we don't, I say you, one person, one vote. No dead people voting this year.
I say get out there and vote as often as you can, particularly if you're voting for the guy that has an R behind his name. R. I mean that in pirate language.
Oh.
R.
A-R-R-R?
Well,
was there an anarchist candidate?
You want to
was there an anarchist?
Well, Kamala Harris.
Kanye West was in the birthday party.
He's the birthday party. And
man,
I think Trump is going to win. I think he's going to get over 300 electoral votes.
Wow. Well,
I think he's going to win. I think he's going to get over 300 electoral votes.
Let's we'll do another one next week, so we'll be able to either complain or talk about it.
Yes, soon. And one day we'll even have live shows.
Yeah. We
like on Facebook and that kind of stuff.
We could do that. We'd have to have somebody show up to watch it.
Well, we got to grow the business.
Yes.
That's a little Louisiana lingo, business.
Business. We're all about that business.
All about it, which is the reason we're trying to get that sponsor to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Business.
Money. Follow the money.
As long as it's not mine.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.